So this guy, let's call him Brad Pitt. Today, he's one of the most famous actors in the world, a Hollywood icon, and a name that almost everyone recognizes. But what many people don't realize is that his journey to stardom was anything but easy. Brad was born William Bradley Pitt on December 18, 1963, in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and grew up in Springfield, Missouri. His father owned a trucking company, and his mother was a school counselor. To most people, it looked like he was heading for a pretty ordinary life. In high school, Brad was outgoing, loved movies, and played sports. But there was no clear path pointing him toward Hollywood. In fact, he didn't even study acting at first. After high school, he attended the University of Missouri, where he majored in journalism with a focus on advertising. At this point, acting wasn't part of the plan. He thought he might go into the world of marketing or public relations. But here's where things get interesting. Just 2 weeks before graduating from college in 1986, Brad realized that his heart wasn't in journalism. Deep down, he had a burning passion for movies and storytelling. He famously said that films made him feel something bigger, something that connected to the outside world. So instead of finishing his degree, he made a radical decision. He packed up his car, just $325 in his pocket, and drove to Los Angeles to chase a dream that seemed nearly impossible. In Los Angeles, reality hit hard. Brad didn't have connections, he didn't know anyone in the industry, and he needed to survive. So, he took on a series of odd jobs. Believe it or not, one of his earliest jobs was driving strippers to parties. Another was delivering refrigerators. But his most famous odd job was dressing up as a giant chicken for a restaurant called El Pollo Loco, standing outside and waving to attract customers. All the while, Brad was quietly working on his dream. He started taking acting lessons, studying under Coach Roy London, who had also trained other big stars. Brad learned the basics of performance, how to deliver emotion, and how to really embody a character. His first roles were small, blink-and-you-miss-it appearances on TV shows like Dallas, Growing Pains, and even as an extra in soap operas. These roles didn't make him famous, but they gave him crucial experience and connections. In 1987, Brad finally landed his first film role, a small part in the movie No Way Out, starring Kevin Costner. It wasn't big, but it was his first step into Hollywood. Then, in 1991, came the role that changed everything. Brad was cast as J.D., a charming drifter in the movie Thelma and Louise. His role was small, just a few scenes, but his charisma lit up the screen. Audiences couldn't stop talking about him, and suddenly Hollywood had a new heartthrob. That short role became his breakthrough. From there, Brad's career skyrocketed. He was cast in major films like A River Runs Through It in 1992, where critics began to see him as more than just a pretty face. In 1994, he took on Interview with the Vampire alongside Tom Cruise, which proved he could hold his own with the biggest names in the industry. Then came Legends of the Fall, which cemented him as a leading man. But what made Brad Pitt different was his ability to balance blockbusters with serious, dramatic roles. He took risks. In 1999, he starred in Fight Club, a movie that at first confused critics, but later became one of the most iconic films of its time. That role turned him into a symbol of rebellious, edgy cinema. The rest is history. Brad went on to star in Troy, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Moneyball, Inglourious Basterds, and eventually won an Oscar for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But when you trace it all the way back, it started with a kid from Missouri who had the courage to leave college 2 weeks before graduation, drive across the country, wear a chicken suit to pay the bills, and chase a dream that seemed impossible. Brad Pitt's story reminds us that success often comes from taking bold risks, starting small, and never giving up, even when the odds are stacked against you. So, the next time you see Brad Pitt on screen, remember, behind the fame and the glamour is a story of persistence, hustle, and the courage to follow a dream.